Good morning. Happy Thursday. I thought it was more than that. Cold again. Before we start today, just astronomy stuff. Around the solstice winter, that lower tree on the right and the big one, the sun was coming up between those, and in a month it's moved that far. That's just interesting stuff to me. And the moon, the last 3 mornings there hasn't been any clouds in the sky, so drinking coffee, looking out the window. 2 days ago it was a half moon, and it was right around there, around 7, I guess. And then yesterday around 7 it was to the left a little more, and you know, it was waning, so it's turning more waning. I'm forgetting the other word. The mind. And then this morning it was, you know, heading towards crescent, and it was farther to the left. And of course it moves that way as the day moves on, because that's east. But it just dawned on me, I was wondering, you know, at 7 o'clock in the morning, you know, if it's in your field of view, because it doesn't take I mean, a full moon comes about, what, every 28 days or whatever it is. So that means it's a little bit behind every day, and that's why it's moving to the left, I'm guessing. Anyway, just a thought that came through the head this morning. I think I can see through the windshield. Let's get over to the work area. Well, let's give it a few more minutes. Okay, here we are. A lot of different things we can do, but I'll just go over the kind of the challenges to start with this operation. Definitely the cable is a perfect tool, I think, for what I have, along with the excavator. But the hard part with the cable, like the second to the last load, worked out pretty well. I laid the cable out, stacked on top of it, buckled it up and pulled it up. And then the next one, I tried to put the cable on between the tractor and the pile, and then pull the pile over the cable. And that didn't work out very well at all. Today I'm wondering, it probably makes sense to just clear the upper part of the hill downward, just lay the cable uphill, and then just pull the stuff up to the cable. So that's going to be the routine to start with today. But I'm also wondering, you know, stuff just seems to be needing to be done in order, and there is that monster behemoth, maybe the biggest one yet, which is holding dirt back, which we don't like, temporary dirt structures. And I think I'm going to start working on that, see if I can't break it loose and get a cable on it, lift it up a little bit, and see if it comes out. It probably won't come out in one piece, but the third thing that you got to keep in mind when you do this, pulling it up, you know, it's in your way. It's difficult to pull it up and then just keep pulling stuff up. So I guess we'll worry about that later, after we're done working on that big tree over there. I wonder if it's part of that one. That's just a massive madrone. I don't know what that is, but that's where we're headed. Probably what makes the most sense, and I think about it a little bit, is to, since I gotta get the excavator over here, once this tree's out, we'll climb up top here and get the chainsaw and cut the stuff down to firewood size and stack it all before we bring more up. This whole area, like this tree here, is still looking good. That's a Douglas fir. Beginning to realize some of these trees, I mean, they're Christmas trees. And that one's probably a fir. But having dirt that high up on the base is going to kill it. So keep all those thoughts in mind as we move forward here. Let's see how this is my garbage pile, which is getting smaller and smaller every day. It is frozen. See if I can drive on this to pack it down yet. Definitely. It'll probably still sink, but it'd be a good time to go over it. Let's see if we still have our stream. Yes. Could just be moving slow because it's frozen. Down here. Disappearing in the same spot. Alright. Be back. Let's get this thing warm. That was better than yesterday. It's still like 28. Alright. There it is. It's the biggest one yet. Definitely has, I can pull it out towards those trees if I can. Gonna have to get the excavator through there, which doesn't look that bad. I can squeeze through there and pull some of that dirt off. Pull some of this dirt off. Look at the size of that thing. This might take a little while. Alright, let's let the excavator warm up. Well, it moves. That's good. For some reason, I'm thinking about putting the cable on it. I don't think it's going to budge, but if I can get it to move that way a little bit, this is probably going to have to be cut down before it's pulled out. So if I just get it out a little ways, so I don't have to cut it more than once. I'd like to, cut it about there. I could probably handle it. So let me hook that up real quick. All right. Before I brought the fifth wheel up here, I grabbed another cable, thinking it was going to be hard to get it up the hill. So we got that covered. Hook on each end, so we can pull. Now, how do we pull? Obviously, there's a heavy stump at that end. It's got a lot of dirt on it. It's not really buried, but it's heavy. Trying to just pull. Well, hell, we got to try that first, because if it works, that's going to save a lot of other headaches. Let me get this cable off and get the new one on. My winch cable, which I fast forwarded through, I already bent it pretty hard the first time, and I was spooling out to get a better angle on this log, and I got a little bit of tension on there and it broke right off, so I had to use my spare cable. Wonder how deep I'm gonna have to get into that thing before it lets go. Okay, battery died, but this cable, when I pulled that first piece out, the buckle at the end, the hook, was buried. Okay, and they just don't roll over that easy. What kind of tree is that? I wonder if that was just a big old oak. All right, right now, I think I am just going to keep going with what's kind of working. I'm going to dig around that end so I can get a cable on it and lift up on it. And I think we're going to have to keep cutting this thing unless it actually lifts up to the tree, and that would be great. Well, normally I usually figure it out or get the job done or break it. This time I didn't break it and I didn't figure it out. But it's not going to be too much longer before I do. It might be right, but we will cut into it and see if the actual system works. I decided to abort on the pulley situation because I wasn't seeing the mechanical advantage that I was supposed to. Plus I wanted to get the truck farther out away from the mud sliding area. Well, I hope you got that shot. I think you were recording when I went up there. But the big one's out. All right, let's get this guy out. All right, task complete. Big Bertha is out of there. It's like 1:30. You know what that looks like to me? That looks like a lot of road down there. Or some road. Because again, we're going to peel that back. Mellow this cliff off a little. Alright, think for a bit. You got about 50% battery. Here we used 3 and then I plugged one in for maybe an hour and only got to 66, so Okay. I think these batteries are dying quickly after a very short amount of recharging. But it's 5 o'clock or so, or close to it. Those were the monsters that came out of here. My God. It's actually big. We're glad that's done. But the exciting part you missed is we got deep and heavy today into the zone. And you might notice there's a lot less horizontal, not the ground, but in the air stuff in this area. It was like an amazing learning experience, like you wouldn't believe. You can see the tracks where I was, and it looks totally minor. But when you're yanking on a tree, or trying to pull something up, or break a tree, or bring a tree to an area, or whatever, that was a lot of learning today. And I feel a lot more comfortable. I mean, I know I could tip over. That's really simple, but I learned that you can brace yourself if you just orient yourself correctly. And I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I found that working on a slope, it's definitely better to have the grading blade behind you that you can dig in and hold on. But that's pretty cool. There were some beefy ones back there. You can see the white wood on that one that broke right there, but he was sitting up high, and there was several others. But heck, I think tomorrow I can get all this stuff, and probably that tree is going to go. And I'm trying to get it all stacked over here. And God, maybe it'd be nice to come up with an idea to how to fish a line under that, you know, so we don't have to move it again. Just like push it, or somehow send something, a stick under it, maybe grab the cable and pull it back. I don't know, but I'm pretty happy. Okay, that's the end of today. See you tomorrow.